Yo, what's going on, Steve?
Yo, what's going on, Aiden?
What's up? What's up? How's everything going, man?
Chilling, bro, chilling.
That's good, bro. Dude, I heard you had a pretty big month last month, huh?
Yep. Record-breaking month, 17K. Actually crazy right now. Actually
That's
crazy.
fire, bro. So you did 17K in profit or
Yeah, profit 17K. Cash collected did 170, 180. But me
okay.
all around did 17K.
That's fire, bro. And so what offer was that on?
It was an AI marketing, really. Just basically going to or calling restaurants, giving them AI, receptionists, websites, all like that, running ads for them if they want to up
That's
there,
fire.
stuff like that. So no, it's really cool. So
That's
yeah.
fire. That's sick, bro. Okay, cool. Yeah, so listen, Brian, I wanted to bring you on today to kind of get your story out and let everyone else know that, people that were in your shoes um know more about your whole story, right? From what got you from point A to point Z where you're at right now. The whole journey, right? Because obviously this is the end, right? Like, this is just the start of the new beginning, right? The
Yeah.
year just started, right? So I know, you've only been in the program for how long have you been in the program for, bro?
I think 4 to 5 months. I joined around August, so I think now 5 months.
Okay, so you joined the program in August, so it's been about 5 months. So within your fifth month, you did 17K profit and you took that home.
Yep.
That's insane, bro. Okay, cool. So yeah, I just want to ask you a couple questions to kind of get that out there, get some inspiration to the younger generation that were, in your shoes, people that are on the fence about, starting, they don't know where to start, right? People that are in similar shoes as your, past situation, right? So I guess like on regards to, back from when you started, right? Like what was your life looking like before you actually joined, right? Like before anything of this started, what was your life looking like, school wise, life, all that.
Yeah, no, I was just living a pretty normal life, going to school out here in Houston, working a 9 to 5 job, honestly, just being a rat, right? Being
Yeah.
a rat, stuck in a race, stuck in a rat race, right?
Yeah.
And honestly, I just got pretty tired of just feeling like that every single day for honestly months, years now. So
Yeah.
just one day I was just went for it. I was always seeing everyone post on Instagram, TikTok, whatever about them just living their life, making a good amount of money, traveling, doing connections, all online. And I just thought to
Yeah.
myself, why not me? So I
Yeah.
just
That's
started,
and
and
that's a
now,
question that everyone should ask yourself, right? Like why not you, right? That's the
yeah,
that's the that's the most, inspiring question you can ask yourself. Why not you, right? If anyone else on this earth can do it, why can't you? You know what I mean?
yeah.
Right? So, before that, right? Because I know when you came to me, you hated that because you're still, I mean, last month when you did 17K profit, you did 170K cash collected. You were doing that from your college apartment, correct?
Yeah, just out
Yeah.
here,
So
literally right here.
literally in your college apartment. That's insane, bro. So a lot of people think that they have to be outside of college. They, got to drop out in order to make a certain amount of money. So you did it in your college apartment, bro. So that proves literally, that anyone can do it. You know what I mean, right?
Oh
There's
yeah.
literally nothing in your way. And I remember you came to me when you first started, bro. You were sitting at the back of your class. You hated what you were doing, right? You hated the life that you were currently living. Yeah, so I guess like at that time, like what were your, biggest frustrations that kind of triggered this fire to start? Like what would you say your biggest frustrations were and biggest struggles were at the time before starting back in August?
Yeah, I think for the frustration part was honestly just, the money part on yeah. So, I wanted more money and I wasn't really bringing in a good amount for what I wanted. So, that really pushed me and just made me just want more and go for more. And then, just again, just seeing all people my age or even younger, doing all this online work.
Yeah.
And so I just went for it, man.
And how old are you, bro?
20.
So you're 20 years old. And 5 months ago you were working a 9 to 5 job, just smashed a
Yeah.
17K profit month in sales, 5 months in, right? And that's obviously, that's not, too long, but it's also not a short time at all. So, you did it in a good amount of time that most people wouldn't make a change in their life whatsoever. So I guess like looking back, right? Like what made you kind of you just finally decide to make that change, right? And invest into yourself to join a program. Because obviously, like most people, you know, it's pretty normal to be on the fence about something, especially with an investment required. Knowing that, you know, there's no guarantee, right? You have to put in the work. It's commission based, right? What would you say, you know, finally made you decide, like, you know, it's time to take that step forward and leave that behind me? You know, that current mindset that's been holding me back for, you know, X amount of time.
Taking that risk, taking that next step in life, and just, you have nothing to lose. I had nothing to lose, especially at this young of age. And if people are watching this at my age or even younger, you really have nothing to lose. So why not take the risk of going for it, high risk, high reward, and just invest
Yeah,
on yourself, man. Put a bet on yourself. And that's the best thing you could probably do in your life. And it will
yeah,
definitely pay off.
100%, bro. And so would you say you were like nervous, right? Before signing up, would you say you were nervous, right? Not knowing, you know, if it would work out. What was that like, those emotions?
Yeah, no, for sure. I was, pretty nervous because, I spent, pretty good money on myself. But, I knew I was going to make it. So you just got to keep that drive and discipline and just knowing you're going to make it and everything like that.
Yeah.
You put in the work every single day, every day, it's going to pay off eventually.
Yeah, 100%. And so what would you say pushed you to take that leap on yourself, right? And then to interrupt that pattern that you had been, you know, constantly going on, that cycle that you had been stuck in for, you know, 20 or, you know, sorry, 19 years.
Yeah, no, just break that cycle of stuff you're doing every single day that, that's not doing anything productive or not making you money. Just break out of that cycle and, start something new. For
Yeah.
me was when I started getting into sales, I started going to the gym more. I started going, on runs, on walks, and there's stuff
Yeah.
like that, reading books.
Yeah. So
Even.
aspects outside of like the money, right?
Exactly, focusing more on my health. So it just made me a better person all around, really. So
Yeah, 100%, right? And there's always, you know, there's always better outcomes, you know, than you may think, especially just like the money. There's always good things that come with it, and then bad things that you may think too on the
oh
way.
yeah.
That, you know, maybe barriers that are just tests, right? So, you know, when you first did join the program and you know, invest into yourself, what was your first impressions like, you know, once you first joined, right? Like in terms like the boot camp, right? Like the Discord, you know, the one-on-ones, the calls, the environment, you know, what would you say? What was your first impression
Yeah.
like?
First impression was honestly great. I think the one thing that stuck out to me was the community and all the people that are in it, and they're just all positive and just motivating everyone every single day.
Yeah.
Putting different ways to make money, connecting. I think that's really big in the online space. And then also the mock calls, all the one-on-one coaching calls. Because before this, I didn't have any sales experience or anything as so. 5 months ago, I didn't have no sales experience, and 5 months now, up 17K for a
Yeah.
single
Five
month.
months later, you're, you know, 17K profit on the month, right? 170K cash collected. So that's what you did in the span of 30 days in the month of December. Or that's crazy, bro. And it's actually like, you know, it's very rare to see that. And even in the small in that amount of time that you did, 5 months, right? It's pretty rare to see a big win like this in a big chunk in that time of December. That's amazing, bro. So like what part of the program specifically would you say helped you the most, right? Because I know you mentioned a lot of aspects, right, in terms of like the coaching, the you know, the community, the networking, the frameworks, right, the videos, all that. What would you say impacted you the most and got you to where you are currently? You know, what would you say?
Yeah, no, for sure is the mock calls. Again, I just need to work on everything I was doing as in tone, discovery, all of that, man. I think that's what really helped me to get to where I'm at right now. So, definitely the mock calls, all that. If someone's
Yeah,
new getting into this, definitely go into those every single day, every
yeah,
single night, getting better every single day. So,
yeah, 100%. And so like, you know, during that process, when you first got your, you know, when you first started to kind of pick it up, like what would you say? Because obviously it's not, you know, it's not super fast, right? There's obviously like a you know, there's a road that comes with it, a bumpy road, especially. So you know, what would you say was like that breakthrough moment where things started to really click in the journey within the first couple, you know, weeks or months?
yeah. So I'll say for myself, for the first 2, 3 months was probably the hardest of
Yeah,
my life because there's nights where I just wanted to give up, but I didn't know if this was gonna work. Nights where I even cried. So
yeah,
just that breaking point was when I finally got a pretty good offer. They
Yeah.
gave me a chance. They took a risk on me, and once I started winning, everything just started clicking like that. So
Yeah. And there's a lot of emotional development that comes with it too. Building yourself up, being the man that you want to be in sales, and then outside of it too as well. Sales really develops you as a person, right? Would you say that, that's how
oh
it kind of
yeah,
impacted you?
oh
Yeah.
100%. This it sales
Yeah.
broke me, but you always got to fight
Yeah.
back,
Broke you
get
and
back
build you
up.
back up. Yeah.
Exactly, exactly.
Broke you down and built you back up. 100%, bro. So I guess like when you got your first big win, I know you mentioned that you got on that offer in the first, 2 to 3 months, after, struggling for a bit. Could you just walk everyone through like your first big win, right? Like the first call, first close, right? First commission, like what was that like? And how was your first call? How was your first close?
Yeah, my first call was actually my first close.
Yeah,
So it was
that's crazy, bro.
it was a 2K PIF on it. So
Yeah.
that's what
And
I
I
should
actually
do.
remember that, bro. Your first call ever that you took on the closing roll, close 2K. That was amazing, bro. And
Yeah,
seeing that you can do that so early on, it's kind of like, I am surprised, but then also not surprised knowing that you already had it in you, right? It's just about, how much momentum can you build from that beginning to now, right? And it showed,
yeah,
right? There's obviously been days, weeks, months, right, that you're going to be held back, right? It may not be, because sales is off and on, right? You're just going to go like
exactly.
like staircase, right? It's going to go up
Mhm.
and then it's going to, stay stagnant, right? That's how growth comes. Growth comes in quantum leaps, right? So, that's how it always works, even for me, right? And for most of the people, I'm sure for you as well, right? That's how it kind of was.
Yeah,
Um, and so I know, like, this last, month, in December, that was your biggest month, correct?
yeah.
Yeah.
So far, the biggest month.
So that was your record breaking month. So I guess like now and literally today, how would you say like your income, your lifestyle, confidence and just you as a whole, like how would you say, everything has changed, right? Life, family, you know, finances, income, whatever, lifestyle.
Yeah, a life all around went from like a 5 out of 10 to like 100 out of 10.
Yeah,
Man, it
bro.
was just great, be able to help my family, help myself, and you know, from the money aside, I've been able to get closer to God, get closer to family all around, eating healthy, going to the gym every single day, just
Yeah.
trying new stuff every day, trying new business models. And, from, making that much amount of money in a single month, you kind of realize how easy it is to start making money, really.
Yeah.
So that's really what
Yeah.
blessed me.
And the hardest part about it isn't actually making the money. It's about developing the skill and keeping that momentum that you made money in the first place and from start to finish, right? It's about the momentum that you build and it's about how well you can manage it and just control it, right? Because a lot of people their momentum gets stopped because of small things in life, right? Whether it's mental, whether it's barriers in their life, right?
Hmm.
And staying close to God, like you mentioned too, can really hold you accountable and hold you tight to that because if that's what your relationship is and if it's super tight, right, you can't be pulled back from anything else. So that's amazing. And I know Christmas just came up. I'm sure you got the family right, the parents and everything, made
Yeah.
them happy.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I got
bro.
them a few good gifts.
Yeah, bro. And I'm sure that being able to do that 5 months later from where you started, right, from losing money to making money, I'm sure that made your parents proud of you.
Oh,
I'm
yeah.
guessing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
100%, man. Great
And how
feeling.
did that
Great
make you
feeling.
feel knowing that you could do that, bro? How did that make them feel too?
Probably, definitely proud. I don't know if I can speak for them, but they told me they were very proud of me, and I came a long way. Because I used to call them every night from the beginning to now, just
Yeah.
telling them, I know this is gonna work. I know eventually this is gonna work. So
Yeah, bro.
being able to see from that moment to now is it's just crazy and awesome, man.
Yeah, bro. That's amazing. So, just some, now advice from you to, your old self and also people that are, on the fence right now and in the current shoes that you used to be in 6 months ago or, 5 months ago when you started. What would you say, like, with some advice that you would give to someone that's like on the fence about joining? What's some advice that you would give to them? Where they kind of in the phase where they don't know what they should do, they don't know what to do, in that kind of like confused state.
Yeah, if you're in that state, just go for it. you have nothing to lose, just take the risks. Especially if you're young, you really have nothing to lose, so just go for it. Uh, high risk, high reward, like I said. So, I mean, if you're nervous about it and kind of thinking that, if it's not going to work out, then honestly, don't do it. Because if you already have that mindset and
Yeah.
you put that stuff in your head, like, oh, well, if this doesn't work out, you already have the bad mindset.
And everything starts in the mind. Yeah,
exactly.
exactly.
But no, I think everyone should stay disciplined during this time because that's big. You can stay motivated for about 2 or 3 weeks, but that motivation will go down. So it's all about
motivation wears off, discipline and consistency doesn't.
It's really just how bad you want it. Well, I see a lot of people fail, and they'll blame the business model or just other people's. But the only way you fail is you give up. So
yeah, 100%, bro. And so for you, what's some advice that you would give to yourself, and also some new students that are just now starting out, or just people that are starting out in the sales industry or just the online space right now? What's some advice that you would give to them, and also your old self, starting 6 months ago, if you could go back in time?
Yeah, I think just start immediately.
Procrastination and all too.
Yeah, don't be scared at all. Just take the risk, go for it all. Show up every day, put in the work. It's going to pay off eventually. So, if everyone who's coming up new into this, take advantage of all the stuff that whatever skill you're going for offers, right? So for me, anyone going to high ticket sales, take advantage of all these mock calls, one-on-one coaching, everything like that, all like frameworks, scripts, whatever. Take advantage of all those, practice those every single night, because that's what I did. What I used to do was when I was bored, no one wanted to do a mocks, I would just do a mock by myself. I would just talk to myself for about like a couple hours. So yeah, I think if anyone does that, just put in the work, man, then everything will pay off.
100%, bro. And did going back, looking back 5 months ago, did you think that you would be making $17K in a single month, at the age that you're at right now, in your college apartment, nonetheless?
I always believed it because from the day one I was writing every single day in my journal of all my goals, what I want to do, and it's just gotta have that self-belief in you. I was writing in my journal for every day before December or before the 2025 ends, I'm gonna do 20K in the month. Basically kind of close, all around in general from the start to the end of the year. I think I did for myself was 27K. So just that, I think I really accomplished that goal. And, this year, New Year. So, I have pretty big goals, pretty new expectations.
Yeah, new year, new goals, bigger goals too, right? Bigger year, bigger goals, right? Yeah.
Some 100%. Stuff I want to start up myself. So
yeah, for sure.
It's pretty exciting.
And so to go off that, right, on a deeper note, like looking ahead, right, and towards the next 3 to 6 months, or even 12 months from now, like what would you say are your next goals now that you've got to this level of success that you're at, within the span of 5 months, right? Because if you can do that in the span of 5 months, I'm sure if you double that, bro, I'm not sure, you can tell me, like, what do you think, what do you think are your next goals? Like, what are you really aiming for? What's that next milestone?
Honestly, what I want to do is 30K in a month. I want to start some other business models with AI, be profitable off day trading, just more stuff that I don't want to leak too early, but I want to get that. A lot of stuff I want to do this year, man. I'm pretty excited about
100%, bro. And it's good to have a variety, because at the end of the day, bro, sales is the it's the bottom step, right? But most people can't even reach that bottom step. But if you can master that bottom step, you're going to be at that next step with the top dogs that are making tons and tons of money, because it's literally it's like the base of business. You know what I mean? If you don't have that foundation, it's hard to start any sort of business or move on to anything in the future at a high success rate. But it's good that you are able to master. I'm glad I can get you on here today to give you some words. To get some words from you on my end, and then also people that are listening and watching that are probably in your position that you were 5 months ago or before that, right? So it's good to give them some motivation and some wisdom from you, for your testimonial, from your story, from where you came from and everything, and your story, right? Just to give them an idea of, that it's possible, right? In the span of 5 months, you can do this, right? Anyone can do it. You know what I mean?
Yes, sir.
And from a college apartment, sitting in the back of the classroom to making 17K a month. So that's amazing, bro.
Yeah. Yes. Really surreal all around, man.
Yes, sir,
Definitely
bro.
grateful for meeting you and just getting this opportunity to do all this.
Yeah.
So I hope
Yeah,
whoever's
bro.
watching this on the other side can just get that motivation, get that drive, and just do what we're doing and even more.
Yeah. 100%. Always go to that next step. Always go to that next mile. All right. Well, it's good getting you on here, bro. Glad that we can hear your story, bro. Hope that, gets pushed out to people and motivates them to get past, where you're at and, achieve this in their life, to a bigger extent too. But yeah, bro, it's good to get you on here, bro. I'll let you go now. Take care, bro.
Yeah, man. Appreciate you. Have a good one.
Yes, sir, bro. All right.